In Kosovo, Serbs set up their own parliament in defiance of this new country's Albanian majority. Can the people of Kosovo, either Serb or Albanian, ever live peacefully side by side? What is it that divides them? This is Inside Story. Hello, I'm David Foster. 4 months after the international community largely recognised Kosovan independence, Serbia still refuses to. Despite the fact that the country is populated by a vast majority of ethnic Albanians, Serbs have opened their own political assembly in Kosovo. The move has prompted condemnation from the United Nations and warnings that it may destabilise the country. Bethan Howe reports now on an ever-divided region.
Serbs marching to remember a battle they lost. 600 years ago, Serbs lost control of Kosovo to invading forces. The battle has since come to symbolise the Serbs' resolve not to give up the region. So it was no coincidence that they chose the anniversary to launch their new assembly in Kosovo. The assembly was set up against objections from the majority ethnic Albanian government and the United Nations. The gathering was held in the ethnically divided city of Mitrovica. 45 members had been chosen in May during Serbia's elections, a ballot which the UN and Kosovo's government declared illegal. In February, Kosovo declared independence from Serbia. 90% of its 2 million population are ethnic Albanians. Kosovo has since been recognised by 43 states, including the US and most European Union nations. But Belgrade and Moscow claim the move was illegal under international law. Some analysts say the assembly lacks the full support of Serbia's pro-EU Democratic Party. It's due to lead the new Serbian coalition government, and none of its delegates were present at the inauguration. But Slobodan Zmajdic, Serbia's Minister for Kosovo, denied these claims.
They have not been presented today here, but we have an agreement with them, very firm agreement and fair agreement. Because they are in favor of organizing such an assembly, and they publicly said that. But they have proposed to wait with the establishment of the assembly until the new government in Serbia is organized.
The assembly has no executive authority and is being widely accepted as mainly symbolic. Despite this, its very creation is likely to deepen divisions between the Albanian majority and the Serb minority. And it further signifies that even after independence, Kosovo has not seen the end to its political tensions. Bethan Howe for Inside Story.
Joining our discussion today from Belgrade, Slobodan Zmajdic, Deputy Editor of the Foreign Affairs at the Serbian daily Politika. In London, Bejtula Destani, Director of the Centre for Albanian Studies, and also in London, author and Balkans expert Tim Judah. Tim Judah, let me come to you first of all. Try to give us an overview of what we're seeing in Kosovo at the moment.
Well, we're just seeing one more step towards the division of Kosovo, which has existed since 1999. And in that sense, Kosovo is going towards a frozen conflict, like Cyprus, like the two frozen conflicts in Georgia, Abkhazia and South Ossetia, and Nagorno-Karabakh and Azerbaijan. So I think we're just seeing one more step in that direction.
Is it de facto partition with the assembly in Mitrovica and Pristina saying that we want to be able to run our own country as one entity, but unfortunately it's impossible to do so?
Well, it's been de facto partition since 1999, so that's actually nothing new. It's just that the way that's being expressed has changed somewhat since February the 17th, when Kosovo declared independence. But so I think that what we're going towards is a frozen conflict, but we're also going towards a kind of new modus vivendi, whereby Serbian leaders will pretend to their people that that Kosovo is not independent and that still remains part of Serbia, and that Kosovo's Albanian leaders will, by contrast, pretend to their leaders that their government is sovereign in all of Kosovo. And nobody will believe that. I mean, Serbs and Albanians are not stupid. Everybody will know that that's the way that things are. Or they're not like that, sorry, but they'll know the way things are in reality. And so everyone will then settle down to this new modus vivendi of a kind of differently divided Kosovo, slightly different from the way we've had since 1999.
Betula Destani from the Centre for Albanian Studies in London. The situation as described by Tim Judah, is that something that you're prepared to live with?
No, not at all. I agree completely what Tim Judah said about Kosovo, present situation. This assembly will lead to division of Kosovo, especially the northern part. And I would say the government of Kosovo are not really to blame. It's to blame is Brussels, who allow all this exercise of Serbian paramilitaries in northern Kosovo, part of Mitrovica.
Okay, the quick thought straight away from Slobodan Samardžija in Belgrade. The reality is that Kosovo does now exist, and you, as Serbs, are going to have to live with that, aren't you?
Well, exactly. Kosovo as an independent state doesn't exist yet because the majority of the world didn't recognize it. So I think that was the real reason why Serbs organized their own assembly, because in such situations, as Mr. Judge said, where some frozen conflicts are in case, I think that Serbs want to secure their commitment to Belgrade and their commitment to themselves, not to Kosovo as their own state, because you know the Serbs from Kosovo will not recognize Kosovo independence, and it will go on and on until things calm down. I think that is only that is exactly political question, not a question of some paramilitary groups and such things. But it is political things that must be resolved before some bigger things come in place.
Yeah, I'm interested in the phrase you used, "before things come down." In other words, before things get worse, and we've seen them in that part of the world get a great deal worse in times gone by, fairly recent times. What would it take to push it into that danger zone?
Well, I don't think that it might be a danger in that sense, but the situation is complicating exactly. And if people, or Serbs especially, and other majorities except Albanians, if they don't know what they want to, what they can expect from the future government of Kosovo or else, it is obvious that they want to secure their future, because at present the Kosovo government doesn't rule. Exactly. Kosovo is ruled by the international community and the European Union, as we know, and the United Nations. So the Kosovo state is somewhere in between the real state and the fake state, you know. So that is the reason why everybody wants to secure themselves.
Betula Destani, how are you in Pristina, and I mean politically in Pristina, because I know you're in London at the moment, but how are you in Pristina going to pull the Serbs into your country, Serbs in the north of Kosovo that don't want to be part of your community? How are you going to bring them in?
We are talking about not majority of the Serbs. What Mrs. Samardžija said, who denies last time we were at Al Jazeera that there never existed any paramilitary groups in Kosovo called Srpska Garda, the Guard of Tsar Lazar. Most of the Serbs in Kosovo are incorporated into political life in Kosovo. They are members of parliament, but this obviously is organized by Belgrade, this assembly. They are still waiting. Something will happen, a miracle, and then Serbs in Belgrade will do everything to jeopardize the political stability in Kosovo.
Tim Judah, two questions for you as we come to the end of this first part of the discussion. Is there any room for compromise between the two sides? Is there any pressure that various parties can bring to this dispute? And what is the danger in, as you described it, a frozen conflict where both sides effectively just stand off from each other?
Actually, I don't think that it's a particularly dangerous situation. I think we're just going to a new phase of the frozen conflict. That's the first thing. I don't think Albanians have any interest in violence whatsoever, and I don't think that Serbs have any interest in violence whatsoever. And I think that what we're going to see is very soon, perhaps in the next week or so, the formation of a new Serbian government, which will be dedicated towards the European integration of Serbia, and it will want to remove Kosovo from the agenda, or it will want to remove Kosovo as a problem from European integration. Therefore, I think that the new Serbian government will try to find a solution to legalize the European Union within Kosovo. That's the first thing. That doesn't mean that the new EU mission will soon go into Serbian areas, but they will try to find some form of solution. And the second thing that they will try and do is that they will try and persuade members of the General Assembly meeting in New York in autumn to ask the International Court of Justice for an advisory opinion on whether Kosovo's declaration of independence was legal or not. And the reason that they want to do that is to take Kosovo out of Serbian politics, and that because what they will do is that they will say, I'm sorry, I've had a slight problem here.
Don't worry, I can see that it's happened.
Sorry,
I can see your earpiece has fallen out, but the viewers can't at the moment. Please carry on.
Don't worry. What they will do is that they will then say to people in Serbia, don't worry, the Kosovo issue is with the lawyers now, and where it will then stay for years and years and years, and therefore they hope to draw the poison of Kosovo from Serbian politics and proceed with European integration. That, I believe, is the plan. Whether it works or not is another question.
Fantastic. Whether our earpieces, our technology works, another question too. Tim Judah, thanks very much for now. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, could the European Union rally the Serbs into stabilising Kosovo in any way, shape or form? What about that new European force, and what about EU membership for Serbia? Stay with us, if you will, here on Inside Story.